Hello and welcome to the second part in my Foy vs Picton battle report. If you're just joining, I'll put a link up there for the second one. Probably should start with an apology, as the second half got a bit out of control. Some outrageous things happened. It just made my mind do flip-flops really, and I got a few things back to front. So let's just see how we go. That's 10-6 movement done. Let's have a recap of the proceedings. Both sides got 3 ADCs. The French got one hesitant brigade, which is the 100th line you can see out there in the field next to Gemioncourt. The Nassau took a gamble and went on infantry assault, and they've sent 2 battalions in here into the 3rd Battalion of the 4th Light. The French skirmishers have been forced back. Boy, you get back there. Get back there, you shocker. So they've been forced back. The French brought their cavalry up and formed their end battalion into column to give them room to do so. That scared the bejeebers out of the Hanoverians, and their battalion on the right formed square, and the one that's been taking a hammering from artillery just withdrew a little bit. The British swiveled their guns around to see off the French cavalry. The 100th line hesitant, they're not doing anything. Still an ongoing skirmish fight here. Pax moved a few of his skirmishers onto the road to try and help Vink get rid of those ones. In around the village, both sides used 2 ADCs to make sure their brigade commanders didn't go hesitant, because they didn't want a disaster. They wanted to reform their troops as quick as possible. The British managed to break one of their troops out into line, and the other one stayed in column because it needed to reform. The French recovered their fire discipline, and in the village, both units formed up. The 2nd Battalion of the 92nd, and I think it's the 97th. So they'll be garrisoning firing each other, I guess. And this unit, the 3rd Battalion of the 93rd, has recovered from retreat and just gone unformed. So things are moving along. The village is trying to change hands. Let's crack into some shooting. Firing was largely ineffectual, but for hesitant regiment, the 100th line did pretty well. They rolled 4 dice and got 4 hits, so they took a stand off these guys because they already had 1 casualty on them. That's knocked them down to 2, so their skirmish line of Vink's Hanoverians is not looking too good. British guns opened up on the cavalry and completely missed, but they did get bounced through on the 2nd Battalion of the 4th Light. So they got 1 there. And the rest of the shooting was null and void. Rubbish. So let's go into this charged combat here. So the French rolled a 6, and they rolled another 6 on shooting at a column at close range. So they ended up doing 2 casualties. And now we're going to roll to see how we get on. I think we should be rolling green dice here. So the charge combat. Oh. So the Nassau we're going to get 7, and the French are going to roll 11. So they're not going anywhere. These boys have got support though, so they're going to re-roll. But they're still only going to get to 8. I don't think there's any more re-rolls that they can possibly do. No, so they're going to lose by 8 to 11 as a loss by 3. Infantry, unit withdrawal, 1 CD casualties, support halt, plus 1 CD casualties, defender stand. So the French will try and give the front guy a casualty, and they don't, and the rear unit, no. So they don't go unformed, they just withdraw. Jeepers, withdraws a long way, 18 inches. So I think they're going to go back. Ooh, So it's a disaster. It's a disaster. So they're going right back to here. What are you doing, boys? So a controlled volley from the French, and the stand is seeing these guys back into the trees. Back into the trees you go. They've gone back a long way. Good gracious. There is, of course, a whole lot of shooting down here that I might have missed. But then everything's out of order anyway, so let's try and fix it in the... We'll fix it in the editing. The British are going to shoot garrison fire against garrison fire. I guess it's -2, so 3 dice. So that was always going to be rubbish. French will return fire at the same rate. They're not as rubbish as the British, and they get 1. And over here, on the other side of the village, the British line will fire first. 5. Come on, choppers. 5. 1. 1 on the French. Is that the best you can do? Is that all you've got? Is that all you've got? The column's going to get 1 CD as well, but that's got nothing. French return fire. They're going to give a volley there. And they're going to roll 11. Oh, today's the day. Today is the day. 11 is going to be standard volley. They didn't move. It's going to be 4 on a DT. Oh, sweet baby cheeses. Discipline test. They are fresh, those guys. 11, they don't care. And then the other French boys will give the column a volley. 7, I think that'll just be 1. Yep, just 1, which takes him to 4. So Picton's boys are taking heavy casualties. They're going in, but they're taking heavy casualties. 2 and 7. Let's rock on. So the British got 4 ADCs and turn 7. French got 2. You can see there, Kemp has been getting a raft of orders. He's been told to infantry assault. He's been told to use glory. You get in there, son, with your troops. Lead from the front. Don't mess about. We don't want you namby-pambering around at the back. Set an example for your troops in fine British tradition. And he's got a re-roll because he doesn't want to go hesitant. Pack has also been given the orders to take the village. Take the village now. The French only got 2 ADCs and they're quivering in their boots. So they've decided that they will put them both on their regiments, the 92nd and the 93rd, Messot and Tissot brothers. I don't know. I don't know. I know what's going on with those names. They're both being given re-rolls because they don't want to go hesitant when the British assault's pushing hard, trying to take their town. So we'll do some rolls and see how we get on, and then we'll crack into moves and assaults, mainly assaults. The last 10 was a bit of a muddle. We'll see if we can do better this time. The French cavalry went hesitant. I'm not even sure who's commanding the cavalry. I'm pretty keen to find out though. Hubbard's French cavalry, the 1st and 6th Chasseurs, have gone hesitant. And on the British side, good old Vink's gone hesitant again. He's just not up for it. Wellington put him with Picton so Picton can sort him out, but he couldn't do it. The French, however, stole the initiative. So the 2nd Battalion of the 92nd is charging in. They're going to try and push the British back out of the village. They haven't got any other charges. The British, however, have got a charge here. They've got infantry assault, glory. They've got everything. So both of these battalions are going in. Hurrah. And that's all the charges. Let's go on to moves. Let's fight the charges and then let's go on the moves. Then over the hills and far away, the French are going to fire a volley. And they're going to get 7. I think they get 1 CD for an attack column coming in. I don't know why the British are charging a column. It's no good to them. Do they get... they lose an advantage for doing that, don't they? Crikey, look it up, son. So they've taken 1. I better check out that dodgy British rule where if they charge in column, something bad. It's not good. So they lose their alarm bonus for charging in column if they get alarm bonus. So they've gone in. So then we roll the dice there. No one's disordered. No one's on 6 casualties. Just a straight roll. Cat's dreaming. Oh, British, could you do any worse? Can you pull your pants down any further, please? You're embarrassing me. Yeah, that's just a disaster, really. They'll get a reroll for these guys. Well, that's a bit better. That takes them to 7. That's a win by 1. The French are going to have to throw that other battalion in. The big question is, what grade are those troops? I didn't really sort that out. I think they're just standard line, so it's no advantage there. So, yeah, the French are going to throw this other battalion in support. Oh, and they're going to roll a 1. That's a loss. The French had the British pants down, but they couldn't kick them where it hurts, and they've lost their nerve. So that's a loss by 2. Loss by 2. Combat with alarm. Well, there you go. Defeat run forward. That's karma for you. You don't get combat with alarm. Rubbish. So the British commander is paying the price for. Yeah, it's got glory though. Yeah, it's got glory. Right, let's do some manoeuvres and then we'll come back. Okay, I don't know what happens. I think maybe Ney's ridden up onto the field and bandied about the words "the fate of France" or something to that order, and told Foy to remember Austerlitz and go forward. So now that the British are fully engaged in the village, Foy's decided to launch forward in the centre. He wanted to send his cavalry forward, but of course that's hesitant. But the 100th line has moved up. They're winning the skirmish battle there, so they're coming up the side of the village. And over here, the 104th Light are also wheeling around and trying to pony that lone Nassau battalion before the rest of the troops can rush back up to the line. For their part, the Nassau are broken out into line, and they're fit for a fight. And these other battalions have come running back up, hopefully before the 2 French lines destroy that battalion and send them reeling again. Fink, wow, what can we say about Fink? Fink is hesitant again. So, man was born confused and is staying confused. He can't really sort out his centre. The guns will continue to hammer the French cavalry, but I mean, he's got problems here. He's only got 1 line battalion, and there's 3 battalions coming up. A couple of those are fresh as well. So Picton's the man. He's at the situation. He better get Pack sorted out. There's a lot of ruckus in the centre of Gemioncourt as those 2 battalions crunch together and fight for the courtyard. Out here, the British are gone in with glory, but checking the rules, they won't be getting alarm this turn. So yeah, let's I'll do a bit of shooting and then into combat. French guns on our poor old beleaguered Hanoverians here. I'm going to say that's on a model because 6. I think that's just maybe 1 long range. No, zip, which is lucky because that was 11 if it wasn't on a model. British guns at the Cav. Oh, they're going to roll 9 and they get a black dice of death because they're a column. No, so 9 is going to be effective range 2 and a DT. And the French are rolling. Oh, French rolling double ones. Oh, wow, 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 wow. Double ones. That's not good. So they take 2 casualties, and they are standard, but they are worn, so they're down a grade. Discipline test piece, so they become reservists. Double one less retreat. 46 casualties. Oh dear. That was the winning move. The cavalry were going to smash them. And now they're going back for, and they've rolled 3 6s. The cream of the French cavalry lies obliterated in the field. So they're going to fall back behind these guys and do a bit of slow weeping, really. So they've just got smashed. I think they should get bounced through as well, the British. That would add insult to injury, wouldn't it? Bounce through? No. But they did. They took a licking. I'm kind of in shock. There was a massacre. So, French foreign first, got a battalion there, and they're going to roll 8, which I think is just 1. Standard volley, 2. And the next battalion will also roll, and they're going to roll 11. Oh my God. Go the French. Standard volley 4. So that gives them a total of 6. 6 and a DT. Smash them, bro. So they jump from fresh straight to 6. And DT wise, they're going to roll a 9. They'll be fine. So they're going to return fire. They're a large battalion, but they moved because they broke out into line. So they're just going to get 2 dice. And it's going to be inferior because they've got over 6 casualties now. 6. They're just going to manage to do 1 on the lead French battalion. So that's going to go probably wrong for the Dutch, for the Nassau if they don't sort it out soon. It's the 2nd. That's what battalion that is. So yeah, the 1st or the 2nd, it's going to go hurry along. Come on, Sex Weemer, get your act together, sort them out, bring up some reinforcements. Yes, if there's any more shooting, the Cavalry massacre just did beheaded. I'm turning circles. My brain's gone like silly putty. I think I either didn't film it or I've forgotten completely to do it. Let's just box on. Pick up the pieces, son. Let's box on. All right, let's do the fight in the town. How bad could it be? 5 dice each. 5 dice each. No glory, no elan. British have a higher grade, so they're going to get +1. Neither side's unformed. I think that's all there is. They're both in there, so I'm not going to say anyone's attacking a strong point. I think it's just a scrum in the village. Here we go. Oh, it's looking good for the British. And it's looking nothing above a 2 for the French. Oh my God. So it's a 4, win by 4 to the British. That's just a slapping. So they're already on 3 plus 4 takes them to 7. 3 or more. Garrison fight. Winner take ground. Loser unformed retreat. So the 92nd have been sent packing. These boys are taking the village completely. Well, there goes the French victory, just evaporated. You just evaporated in 1 turn. How bad could it be? Yeah, ringer of the doom bell. How bad could it be? I think we're about to find out because we're going to resolve this charge now. The British are going to get 5 dice. The French are going to get 5, but they're unformed, and the British are going to get another dice because they have glory. But I think that's it. I don't think there's anything else. No one's got any more casualties. So let's go again. Rinse and repeat. Oh, and the French didn't score a hit again. And the British got 3. It's just gone. It's gone to pieces for the French. 3, which takes them up to 4. And that's a win by 2. Infantry versus artillery. Take ground, lose retreats. So back these guys come. These guys come forward. And I think this line now must retreat as well, because it can't be within 3 inches of those guys. So the whole French line is coming reeling back. Well, the end of turn 7 started off with such promise for the French. I mean, it really did. They were in a bit of trouble here, but they were confident they were going to hold, and they thought that the British were fully tied up, taking the village. So they thought, now's the time. Vink is just struggling to get his act together, so the 100th line of the French was ordered forward, putting them into serious pressure. The cavalry was ready to a charge, but they fumbled their orders, and man, that cost them dearly, because the British artillery just tore a gaping hole in them. To be fair, the 101st line has dished out a bit of pain, but again, coming back to Gemioncourt, the British are throwing the French out. It's just a disaster. It's just a disaster, and I don't think the French have got the numbers to take it back. So, yeah, turn 8, it's all to play for. Top of turn 8, French got 5 ADCs. I think the British got 3. The French have abandoned all hope of success over on the right. They've decided to go gung-ho on the left and in the centre. They gave the 4th Light Regiment Glory and Infantry Assault, and they've gone in there. The Cavalry were given forwards, and they've gone across, and they're launched an attack over there. And the last 2 ADCs they gave to artillery assault, but those guns are attached to the 100th line, and they went hesitant, so they're not going to get any artillery support there. Over here, they didn't give any ADCs to anyone, and consequently, the 92nd has gone hesitant, and the 93rd is in all sorts of trouble as well. British, for their part, passed their morale check here, and they've rushed a battalion in and charged these guys. Pack's yet to move. The normal movement's yet to happen, so they gave all 3 ADCs to Vink, and he put his guns on assault and got a re-roll. So he's just about to face off against that cavalry, and he'll probably pour gunfire in as they come in. And these boys here also passed their morale check and are ready to face the French. So we'll go through the French charges first, and then the British charge, and then we'll do normal movement. Right, so the Nassau will fire a volley. They are a large battalion, so they're going to get a CD. They didn't move, but they are on 6 casualties, so they're going to be an inferior volley. So here we go. And they've rolled double ones. Of course they have. Of course they're going to roll double ones. And a 3, so they got nothing. Well, they got fire discipline. So the French are going in, and they're going to roll for their attacks. They did a bit better in their combat roll, though. They were busy fixing bayonets and not shooting guns. Hold the phone, because they're shaken. They've got more than 6 casualties. So they're going to roll another dice there. They're going to roll another dice. Oh, no. No, it's because they weren't fixing bayonets, so they were confused. They didn't know whether to shoot or fix bayonets or anything, so they've just dropped their trousers instead. So they have a re-roll for the supporting battalion behind them, so they're definitely going to take that. So now they go to 9 again. So they're back up. The trousers are back up and tightened up. And now the French get a re-roll for this supporting attack. And they'll take a re-roll for these guys over here. The French just can't do it. They can't do it. So that's a win by 2. Halt and volley. Lead unit unformed. Defend to stand. So the French are going to halt where they are and crack out a volley. And they're unformed, so it's inferior. And a 6, inferior volley, and a 6 is just a 1. Pushes these guys up to 7. So disaster, really, for the French. This, however, could be a different story altogether, because they need to form square, and they are reservists or recruits, and because they're worn, they go down to the next level down. Oh, they can't get any lower than they are. And they've rolled less than 6. Retreat. So they're going to retreat, and I guess they're going to retreat behind these guys, form a rough column. French will give them 4 CDs casualties. Which will be 3, which will take them up to 7. These are reservists, so they'll fall apart at, I think, 8. What I forgot to do is fire the artillery as they came in, so we might do that. The guns and 3 CDs, 2 for artillery assault and 1 for there being a column. But that's rubbish. British wet their pants. They managed to get 2, and they can force because it's casualty canister, they can force a discipline test. 7. And a 7 is a pass. So they can now charge on or hold the ground. And I think they'll charge on to these guys. Because why wouldn't you? So the French cavalry is run amok through the centre. Of course, it could be dangerous if they fail. These boys will try and form line, square, and they can't. Oh, they can't. Okay, so I've messed that up a bit. So the cavalry wiped the walls with these guys, and they've retreated back. And then, because it was a victory, they got to charge on. So they've charged on into these guys. These boys don't get to react. They've got to stand in line and fight. And the cavalry hit them with a lan. So that will go to combat next turn. Bromsky. So the French are enjoying some success at last. But things might change here. French got an inferior volley. They're unformed and they've got fire discipline. That might make them just a 1 CD volley or something ridiculous. Yes, that's two negative modifiers, 1 CD. Weak volley. It is a weak volley that hits home and takes these guys to 6. Which is better than the poker and eye with a sharp stick. Combat, no one's supported. The French will be rolling 3 dice because they're unformed, and the British will be rolling 3 dice because they're at 6 casualties, as far as I can tell. Take the lowest 2. Ooh. It's not good for the British. So there is no rerolls. There is a loss by 5. Unit withdraw, 1 CD casualties. There's no supports, so they're going to withdraw. And they're going to see if the French can give them another casualty. No, they can't. They get about 6, so they've got just enough room, and they're going to fall back behind friends. Just reviewing the fire phase of turn 8. You can see the Scots there in the town there up on the walls, and they've peppered the French with garrison fire and pushed these guys up 1 more casualty. So they're now sitting on 9, so they're really unhappy. The this battalion's still fresh, the 1st Battalion of the 92nd, but the brigade's hesitant, so they can't really go in. These guys at the back here, they're sitting on 7 casualties, so that French ability to take the town is not good. The other side of the town, the Scott Battalion there managed to crack on another casualty to those French that saw the British Battalion in combat. So you can see they're making progress up the side of the town, the British, but it's a slow, hard slog. You see Pack there looking over the wall. He's going, jeepers, here comes some French through the fields, the 100th line, so he's swung a few of his battalions around to try and to help out Vink's boys. The guns have already fired. The French cavalry's in the mix, running amok. It's just a disaster. And let's just take a look at what's going on in the woods. The French attack's stalled, and the rest of the Nassau are coming up to try and even the odds in the firefight here. To be honest, the French have got their work cut out because they're big battalions, so still the French are the cavalry's doing well, so it's all to play for. Okay, I don't think this is going to go well. Feel free to write in the comments if I've got this wrong, because I'm by far not an expert at these rules. So these boys, we've got a victory and they've charged on into these. We've gone straight to combat. They don't get to shoot or anything. My working out of the dice is they start at 5, but they lose 1 because, why do they lose 1? Because their recruits in line. So that drops them 1. Drops them 2 because line versus cavalry. So they're down to 3 dice. And I think the cavalry start at 5. They get 1 for Elan and 1 because they're a better grade. They're facing recruits. So this is not going to... this could be the end of the British centre. Yeah, the British rolled nothing and the French rolled 4. Ooh, it's a win by 4. It's a win by over 3. Cavalry versus infantry. Cavalry win, take the ground or withdraw. Losing infantry, disperse. So they're gone. Binks just watched one of his battalions run for the hills. And I think the cavalry will withdraw at this stage. They don't want to take the ground. 24 inches. So all the cavalry's going to go back. A booming charge. They destroyed the British centre, now they're going back to regroup. And that, I believe, falters the brigade. This is where you play a game that has a reserve that plugs the gap. But there's no reserves here, son. So you're just going to have to suck it up. That's all the combats. That's the turn. Turn 9, we'll do, we've done the ADCs. We'll wall them like you got them and work through what we've done. So French got 3 ADCs, the British got 4. On the British side, Saxweemer got nothing, so he's just got a roll. He's fine. Vink got 1 because he's a faltering brigade, and he's rolled a 2, which is no good, but he's been giving an extra order to try and re-roll that, which is 3, which is not much better. Faltering brigade, I would say they're reservists. Wavering, disperse any unit within 2 casualties of its dispersal. So that's these boys. Oh, it's a disaster for the British. Could be all over. Picton's attack has fallen over. Retreaters retreat 4d6 casualties. All other units either go unformed and 2d6 casualties or retreat and 2d and 4d6 casualties. Skirmish line or 2 bases is recorded. No movement permitted this turn. Firing is permitted, but it is a hesitant brigade. Brigade remains faltering. So I'm going to keep these guys where they are, so they're fine. And these boys here, they're going to take 2 casualties. So they're holding in there, but they're nearly at half strength. The guns are still there, but the brigade's still faltering. So that was a disaster. Complete disaster for the British centre. And they've got cavalry lurking around there. Pax brigade That's fine. And over here, Kemp's 8th Brigade, they've got a re-roll, and they've also got infantry assault. But they don't need their re-roll. So infantry assault's going in and over there. They're pushing hard on that flank, the British, because their centre's gone. Come back, Brunswickers. Avenge your dad. All's forgiven. Where are you? Infantry assault. Right. Put a marker there because I'll forget. Over to the French. Let's start down here with the 104th. So down here, they're just a straight roll. They're just a straight roll of CAC. And despite the cavalry showing them how to done, they've lost their nerve. The cavalry, yeah. Come on, French, you're on the cusp. You're on the cusp of the greatest victory you've ever had in the history of my wargaming table, and you just can't pull it off. Down here, Tissot, he's got glory and a reroll. And he doesn't need the reroll, but he wants the glory. He wants the glory, that lad. And right at the end, the 93rd, they've just got a straight roll. And they're fine. So the French have got 2 hesitant, and the British have got 1 faltering. So 3 dice to 4. The British get 5-5. So I think the British retain it because they had it last time. I think that's how it works. Better check. I don't want people wanting too many. I don't want 900 comments saying how badly I play these rules. So there's only one charge. British, the 8th Brigade is just battering its way up the side of the farmstead. They've gone in. They've got infantry assault, so these boys have gone in support. The French lost their fire discipline last turn, so they'll be firing an inferior volley. They've rolled 9. Well done, boys. I think 9's got to be a couple, doesn't it? Inferior volley, 9. 2 plus a DT if drilled, but they're not. So that does take the British player to 6, though, which means he'll be rolling an extra dice in the combat. Here we go. Let's not muck about. 2 dice for the French, 3 for the British, but the British will get a reroll. The British damn well need a reroll. Jeepers. So the French get 8. The British get 2 1s and a 2. So they get 1 reroll and they need to roll a 6. They rolled a 2. So that's a win by 4 to the French. Disaster. Charges. Lead unit withdraw 1 casualties, supports halt 1 casualties. Defender stands. So can the French do another casualty on the British? No. Can they do one on the other one? No. So these boys are going to go back. French are not giving up the side of the building without a fight. Speaking of fights, these French were charging into the building here. So the British are going to get garrison fire. They have 5 dice. They're going to score 2 hits. And then they're going to go straight to combat. In with glory. Right, that's all the charges. British movement. Turn 9 over this side of the pitch. The French were hesitant. They really can't do nothing. They can't wheel or do anything. The Nassau have come forward with the 2nd Battalion and their 2nd line. A large battalion that's formed up. It's going to help try and volley away these French. Looking across into the centre, the French 100th line is pushed forward. They're about to engage 1 battalion of Hanoverians And you can just see over there that Pack is starting to move his battalion through this gate and form up, ready to fight off that threat. The French cavalry in the middle has broken out into line to lessen the effect of artillery because they can't come forward, they're hesitant. Here, both sides are desperately trying to reform their troops, ready for another meat grinder. A lot of skirmish fire left, but the Nassau definitely got 3 shots here at this column. 3 ones. Right. You can't miss any more than that, so that's not good. I think the only other stuff we've got, firefight down here. So I think the French have got 2 stands plus a brigadier, gives them 3. No, and these guys have got 3 stands plus a brigadier, gives them 4. No. So nobody's hitting anybody in the skirmish factor. There's artillery now, but the French guns can't shoot. They've got horses right in front of them, and I think the 100 lines is blocking targets over there. But the British guns, they can fire, and they're going to fire canister into these guys right here. So I think they get 2 dice for shooting, and maybe 2 dice for canister. Canister, 2 dice. Here we go. Oh, that's definitely 2 hits, but that's a hit on themselves. So they did 1 to the French, did 2 to the French and 1 to themselves. Bit of a fatigue. Get worn out. So that's artillery done. So now we're into volley fire. I think the British won the initiative. Short-term memory. Where's the short-term memory going? So Nassau here will fire. They're spent, so they're going to get inferior volley, but they're a large battalion, so they're going to add a CD. So they get 1 for the CD and inferior volley at 7. So they're going to do 2 to the French. It takes them up to 3. They should be formed now. And then this battalion over here will do the same. But they're going to give a standard volley. 5 is 1. So all they're going to do is 1 to these guys. The French are going to return the favour. This battalion, he's rolled a 6 and I won a 7. So they're going to take these guys to 8. And these guys will fire at the same dudes. And they're going to roll 6, which is another one. So taking them to 9. So they're getting decidedly shaky. Tremendously unhappy about the situation. There's going to be another blazing away here at 0 paces. These boys here, straight volley. 3 will just be 1. 5, sorry, will just be 1. Taking them to 3. And I'm guessing the British just do 1 CD, which works. Takes them to 3 again. So the French are on 3-3. French return volleys. These guys. 11. Ouchies. They did move, so it's 4 plus a DT, which takes these guys to 6. Oh no. Stand. Stand, my brave Hanoverians. Picton's watching you. Picton's very disappointed in you. Ah, 6. That can't be very good. I think that's really bad. I think that's the opposite to good. 6 or less. Retreat. And they've got no one to fall behind unless they can fall behind that artillery. And if they can't fall back behind that artillery, then they're burnt toast. Let's have a read. So I think they can just fall back and just get behind the battery. So they're retreating. So if they roll another faltering, I just don't want to even talk about it. Don't want to talk about it. Over here, French line is going to fire into the British column. And they're going to get 9. Go French boys. Go French, boys. 9, I think that's going to be 2, isn't it? It's a standard volley. They're fresh. It's going to be 3 and a DT. Ouch. Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. 100 line. Took all day to get moving, but they're a wall of steel now that they're going. They're just going to come up through the middle. Discipline test for the British. 7, that kind of is on a model. It was a 4, but it was on a model. Well, it's gone down to a 3. But they're good troops. So I think they're veterans, so I think they're fine. Yeah, they're fine. No wuckers. No worries, mate. So that's all the shooting on this side. French line's got one last bit of crack-a-lacking off. I think the British column can shoot once first. Beautiful. It's a hit and it turns that to a 6, which makes this guy's volley inferior. On a model. He's going to roll 8 though, so it's going to be at least 1. Has to be 1. 1 on the British, and that's their first casualty. They're fresh as daisies, those boys. Turn 11. Well, I say it's turn 11. It's about now that I just get too involved in the game and lose track of the turns. So we're going to say it's turn 10. So I said turn 11, but it's turn 10. Who knows what turn it is? I don't. 80 Cs. Well, the British have got a full house, which is good because they need it. And the French have got 4, which is good because they need it. Okay, let's start with the British. So they put 2 on old mate Vink, who's still faltering. He's rolled a 2, and he's re-rolling that, and he's rolled a 3, which is the same result as it before, which is wavering, and that's just a disaster. No other words can describe it. It's just a disaster for the British because 2 is still wavering, I believe. Yeah, it's wavering. So these guys will go, and that takes the brigade under half strength. Yeah, that's a disaster. So that's the whole brigade disperses, and they lose a command. So that's the British centre gone. Vink has gone back for drinks with the Brunswickers. Terrible. Terrible, terrible. I say it's a disaster, but it's a victory for the French, I think. So, you know, I shouldn't be too unhappy. Let's do a quick recap. Anyone's fight here, really. The 104th Light are slowly getting the better. I think this brigade here is in a bit of trouble. They're on 9 casualties now, and the 100th Line hasn't taken many casualties at all. They're hoping to swing this battalion around and come in the flank. So, you know, still a strong force facing them, but I think the French have sealed this area off well. French cavalry were devastating. Devastating against recruits because they just couldn't form square. Unless I got it completely wrong, and that could be the case. Over here, the 100th Line, the Iron Brigade of the French, come forward and completed the discomfort of the British in the centre. Pack's desperately trying to reposition his troops. I mean, he did well. He took the town, and the French have tried to take it back and couldn't. So you can see the Scots are still in there defending the walls. So he did well, but he's just not got the troops to stop the rot because although his boys are fresh and coming along, I mean, they're going to commit piecemeal, and that 1st Battalion's going to get lapped around and volleyed to death. Moving across to the left of the town, of the Gemioncourt, Kip's brigade come forward. It grinded its way slowly down the line. I was hoping that it would come around and really threaten the French right. But the French battalions, besides being beaten and beaten and beaten, they fought a classic withdrawing battle without planning a classic withdrawing battle, and they just held the British at bay. In saying that, the British are still pretty strong here, and the French battalions, they've got nothing to throw back at the town. They've got no way of getting those Scots out. So I'd say it's only a minor victory to the French, but they haven't had a victory before, so I'll take a minor victory. All in all, I really enjoyed that game. I haven't played it for a while. I've been lost in Ancients. As you'll see in the video, it's taken me away a few stop-starts to rabbit through the rules, and I'm sure you'll help me out in the comments with things I got wrong. A lot of it I've just forgotten rather than not knowing. I just don't have that good a memory anymore, really, especially when you play 3 or 4 sets of rules. It gets on top of you a bit. Anyway, if you made it this far, thanks for watching, and have a good new year. Cheerio.